Hi everyone, my name is Abraham, and this is the project that I've been working on. It's not only a study of the Kotlin programming language, but it's also a study of the model view controller architectural design pattern. I'll talk about that a little later, but for now, it's a console-based application. It's going to run on the console. It's not hooked up to any web technologies or anything like that. It's a task manager, meaning it's sort of like a to-do list, but it's a little bit more intricate than that. As far as my development environment, I've chosen um, to use IntelliJ's IDEA IDE simply because Kotlin is native to that, and so I figured it would run cleaner this way. You can also use VS Code for this, but I've chosen IntelliJ's IDEA for now. Kotlin is supposed to behave like Java code, so you need a Java development kit to run Kotlin code. And I've chosen Eclipse's version, which is called Timurin, the 21st version of it. It's the latest long-term support version, and so that's what I'm using. It's an open-sourced technology as well. For my version control, I'm using Git and GitHub, and as I've stated, this is pure Kotlin code. I'm not using any external libraries or web technologies or anything like that. But that's a little bit about the setup. This is the actual code. So Kotlin requires a main function to run. If you don't have a main function, then your code doesn't run. And you can see that here. I can run the application here, but if I change it to these classes here, I can't run my code. I have to be in the main. It has to start at the main. And so what main does is it instantiates. It begins two objects from the task view class and the task controller class. And then it goes into that object, the controller object, and it runs the function. And this is the function that it's going to run. Here it is. That's where everything begins. So let's talk about let's talk a little about the MVC architecture. The model view controller architecture is a way to separate concerns, and the way that it does that is it separates the logic and the data, which is held under the model component. It separates the data and the logic from the user input or user interface, otherwise known as the view component. And all these three things are separated. The task controller is a controller component in the architecture. And you can think of the controller as a communicator or a pilot. It tells the model and the view what to do. It doesn't hold any data it doesn't display or interact with the user at all. That happens under the view. It's just a communicator between these two. And so the model handles your data and your business logic. So that's a little bit about that. Let's see the class object. This is or the task class. This is it. I've chosen to create this or develop this with encapsulation in mind, meaning there's only one way to edit or get information from this class or the objects that will be created here on out. These are my getters, and these are my setters, and the only way to change or to mutate my fields, my private fields, is to call one of these setters. This is actually interesting. So any refers to a superclass, that is sort of like the parent of all the classes that you can make in Kotlin. And so any also holds certain methods. One of the methods that comes from any is the toString, which you can call on any class. And so I've chosen to override that method simply to display custom information later on. So that's my task class, my task repository. This is where all my task objects will live. And it can do things like add a class, get all the tasks, get a single class, delete, count them. And I've added some functionality in here to where if you input, say you have three objects, three tasks, and you say you want to do something with the fifth task, this code will actually catch that, and it will prevent the application from crashing So it'll keep running in a loop until you input something that is within the parameters of this application. This is my view component, strictly user interface, things like show the menu, get input from the user, show messages, prompt input. This function will actually allow me to populate constructors later on and list tasks. This function here will get input from the user, which comes in as a string, type string. And so I have to convert that over to an int if I want to use it later in my task controller. So this is what this function does. This is the controller class, and it holds the run function from the beginning. This is where the code gets executed at the beginning, and from here everything is called from these other three. So the pilot, sort of, you can think of it that way. And it's a while loop. It'll continue running. It's true. It'll continue running indefinitely until you end the session and set this to false. But otherwise, you can create, edit, delete, and list your tasks. And it will run functions for that. Here are the functions. The when keyword not only allows you to display information or run code, but it also allows you to receive data back, return data. That's the cool thing about using the when keyword, as opposed to a switch statement. A switch statement only allows you to run code and not receive data back. And so here you have it. These are the functions that get called from here. You can create one, create a task, which will populate a constructor, edit one, which has basically, well, it's not the same code, but it's similar to the create a task. You can delete and list. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, I think it's, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's on there. I forgot where it was. Oh, here it is. So this piece of code here will actually call the toString method from any, and that is the function that I have edited here. So I haven't written this function. I'm just overriding it. And so this line of code here allows me to call that, and it will call that custom display that I've asked, that I've overwritten. And so we'll go back to the main file, and we will. And so, by the way, the main is written in a file, and then these are all classes. And so I will run that. It runs fine. It begins fine. So let's create a task. We're going to say we're going to clean, and we'll call it planned for now. It's of low importance, and we're going to say clean. Okay, so I created a task, and let's see if it lists. So list them. I only have one. Okay, there it is. Now let's see. Let's say we want to edit. So it's showing that I only have one. So you can pick between 1 or 1. So let's pick 3. It's outside the parameters. It caught it, and it's preventing it from crashing. So I have to pick something between 1 and 1. So if I had 5 classes here, it would say between 1 and 5. So let's pick 1. Okay, now I'm going to edit this. So we're going to say in-house, and we're going to say pending, and we're going to say that it is high now, and clean house before Saturday. And now we're going to list them, see if it made the changes. Yep. Okay, now we're going to delete. Okay, so between 1 and 1, let's say we want to delete task number 3, which doesn't exist. It should catch it. It caught it. The parameters are between 1 and 1. So, and it gives me a message back. It's deleted successfully. Okay. Um, so right now I don't have any classes available to edit or delete or list. So let's see what happens if I try to edit something. So tasks to edit. So it caught it and it's preventing it from crashing. Let's see if it's want to catch a delete. Okay, no tasks to delete. So it caught it and it's preventing it from crashing. And let's see number 4, list all the tasks. No tasks available. So it's catching it and it's preventing it from crashing. So it's working as planned. Now let's end the session. Ending. Okay, so everything ran perfectly, just as planned. So yeah, this is the task manager. Again, it's a console-based application written entirely in Kotlin. I've showed you, I've walked you through each of these classes, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to behave, what the MVC architecture means. This is just a short run of it. It's very interesting stuff if you want to read about it. I've also included some of this information about the IntelliJ IDE, Kotlin, Temurin. If you want to find out what in a good open source JDK is, I would suggest Temurin. It's worked perfectly for me, and this is just a playground where you can go and experiment with Kotlin code. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. If you have any feedback for me, I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you.